Welcome, good afternoon. Welcome to the web conference. How will this conference work? This conference is 15 minutes. It will also be recorded. I recommend you open a new window with our Canvas course and the project module opened. You may participate via text, audio, or video. Please ask all of your questions in the chat box. You may ask a question when prompted. I'll be speaking to you via audio and video if connection speed allows, but everything I say I will type out in the chat box as well. So let's get started. So what do you have to do for the ePortfolio module? First, go to the project module and click on the ePortfolio project, weeks 12 through 15. In there, you'll want to read the instructions completely and carefully. There is also a great short YouTube video explaining the value of ePortfolios. You can see the link in the chat box. So, what are you being asked to do with this ePortfolio? What is an ePortfolio? Why is it valuable to you? You'll begin to create your own personal ePortfolio. An ePortfolio is just a collection of your best work in an electronic format that balances a showcase of both your personal and your professional aspects. Really, keeping an ongoing academic portfolio is an important part of college life. It's something that over 50% of college freshmen are now being asked to do. An ePortfolio will not only become an excellent example for you of your progress over the course of each year, but it really becomes an online living resume that will help you showcase yourself to colleges and prospective employers. So for this ePortfolio project, what do you have to turn in and when is it due? You're being asked to reflect on all of your course assignments for the semester, and you're going to choose to showcase examples of your best work. We call those artifacts. These examples or artifacts should clearly demonstrate that you have mastered the course student learning outcomes. That's 1, 2, and 3. These are the things listed in your syllabus that say, by the end of this class, you will be able to do X, Y, and Z. So you're going to create a free ePortfolio. You may choose to use Canvas, a free program called Weebly, or a free program called Wix to collect and show your artifacts. These artifacts may be PDFs, documents, URLs, photo files, video files. Some examples that students have used in their ePortfolios includes screenshots or photos of their course notes, photos of their textbook highlighted and annotated, maybe copies of an exam, copies of a lab report or essay, a photo of a quiz or an exam, maybe a video of a presentation. Be creative. Please see the ePortfolio project instructions for all due dates. Next, you might be wondering how on earth you would begin to choose an ePortfolio program. That is the program that will create and house your ePortfolio. You can choose one of the 3 web creation tools that I've suggested: Canvas, Wix, or Weebly. They are all free and they are all very user-friendly. Canvas is kind of like a Volkswagen Bug. It's like driving a lawnmower. It's not fancy, but it'll get you where you want to go. Weebly is a little bit like a Volvo, okay? Lots of features, not very sexy. Wix, I would say, is like a Ferrari. Tons of features and very dramatic, very visually appealing. You'll notice a few student examples. I've given you several student examples in the ePortfolio project instructions. I have placed links to some of these examples in the text box. You'll notice there's an example from Canvas from a cultural geography class. There's an example from an oceanography class where a student used the free program Weebly. And there's another ePortfolio example from an oceanography class here on campus where a student chose to use Wix. Finally, how is this ePortfolio going to be graded? There is a detailed project rubric listed in the assignment area, so please take a look at those. I'd now like to open it up to any questions. If you have any, please ask them now in the chat box. Elizabeth has a question. For the video, does it have to amount to the same word count as a written document? And roughly, yes. What we suggest that students do is they may write a 300 to 500 word reflection that's written, or an equivalent 2 to 3 minute video where you're reflecting on your performance on each student learning outcome. And there's specific questions or prompts listed in the ePortfolio project instructions. Mia asks, is there a minimum number of items that you should have in your ePortfolio? Yes, you should have 4. 4 artifacts. And let me tell you more about that. You should have 3 artifacts which show how you've achieved course learning outcome 1, 2, and 3. 1 is demonstrating multicultural literacy and global awareness. 2 is to critique and evaluate cultural patterns. And 3 is to formulate geographic research questions and propose solutions. The 4th artifact is going to show how you have mastered General Education Outcome 2. That's a college-wide outcome. That outcome is information literacy. Locate, retrieve, and evaluate information using appropriate research tools. So you will have 4 artifacts in your portfolio. You will also have 4 reflections. You're being asked to reflect on each of the 4 artifacts. You may reflect via a written essay or a video. You need the essay or the video reflection for each of the 4 artifacts. Emily asks a question about, so we do not need to put our resume in the project. Just have a tab for it and other tabs. Yes. So Emily, I'm asking you to make an ePortfolio with, I think it's 4 or 5 tabs, and that's listed in the project instructions. But I'm only grading your 4 artifacts and reflections in your college courses tab. Robert asks if the student examples are listed anywhere else than just the chat box. Yes, they are, Robert. Lots of student examples are listed in the project module for your convenience. Any other questions or clarifications about the ePortfolio project? Okay, so moving ahead, what's your next step, or what should you do now? Number 1, read the project instructions carefully, and please take a look at all of the sample student ePortfolios. What should you do if you have a question about the project? Number 1, reread the project instructions. In the module, I've also put an entire help page with step-by-step tutorials on how to use Canvas, Wix, and Weebly. You can also post in the Ask Here for Help discussion board or always message me in Canvas. Any last questions? Elizabeth asks if all the student work received an A. Not quite. All the student examples were A to B work. So use the rubric given as you craft your own ePortfolio. Taeyun, good question. To clarify, the ePortfolio is not a group project. So the ePortfolio is an individual project, and you will all be receiving an individual grade. Any other questions or clarifications? You're welcome. You're all welcome for attending. Thank you. It's good to see you as always. I do have to leave to attend another virtual conference, but feel free to stay in this conference if you want to open a private chat and talk to anyone else in the class. Have fun with the project. Take care.